Good morning. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Deanne. I'm going to take a little more of a 30,000-foot look at this whole thing. Deanne covered the contempt citations pretty well, but unfortunately those contempt citations are merely a symptom of a larger disease. And I don't want to focus on them without telling us or talking about what actually the disease is that we're faced. Much of the problem that we're facing with child welfare these days is fueled by an opioid crisis that we are in the middle of and are having a hard time finding our way out of. One thing we have learned, however, throughout this crisis is that parents or people who are addicted to opioids, they don't get out of treatment and are cured. They go back 5, 6, 7, 10 times. And every time there's a relapse and there's a kid in the house, that kid is now subject to being taken back out of the house and put someplace else until that parent comes back out of treatment and the family is put back together. We can't have that. Adding to this is the fact is that agencies that place kids in foster care are now losing their insurance coverage. I just got a call 2 weeks ago from one of the largest agencies in the state who told me about the fact that insurance companies are pulling out of Illinois. They're pulling out of Illinois as far as covering these particular types of risks because, among other things, Illinois does not have a cap on liability damages like most other states have, and the cost of coverage is just becoming too burdensome to bear. The problem is that these agencies have got to have liability insurance, and if they can't find it, we're going to start seeing these agencies go out of business, and then where are those kids going to go? The biggest problem we have is cultural. Kids in danger are treated instrumentally to promote the rehabilitation of their parents, with the inevitable result that their most precious developmental years are lost in bureaucratic and judicial red tape. We have kids bouncing out of houses, back into homes, out of homes, back into homes, until they fall out of the system completely or die. Can't have that. It's time to stop letting efforts to fix the child welfare system get derailed by those who are concerned more with abstract demands of social justice and start asking the most important question. How do we get these kids out of that cycle that they find themselves inevitably brought into? And how do we find loving, caring foster homes and permanency for these kids so that they can grow up to become adults and don't re-enter the system? Because we've been dealing with this. This is a cycle. This is a cycle we've been dealing with for the past God knows how many years. And it doesn't seem to end because what we're doing is we're focusing on the wrong problem here. We're focusing on family rehabilitation when we should be focusing on the benefits and the welfare of children. I live in Woodstock, Illinois. AJJ Friend was buried in a shallow, unmarked grave a little more than a mile from my house, which I drive by all the time, and it's a constant reminder to me of the failures of this agency. DCFS needs to be transformed from a top-down bureaucratic agency that sets policy that's often at odds with local communities and the needs of local communities and parents. It must become an agency that integrates and is part of the local multidisciplinary teams that act on child welfare problems within the community, know the parents, know the circumstances in these communities, and can actually provide some answers and some solutions. The current system is broken. I've been dealing with this ever since they found AJJ Friend's body a mile from my house. I've been dealing with this issue in a working group. I've been dealing with this in a bipartisan, bicameral manner with many of my colleagues. We've all come to the same conclusion. This is an agency that cannot be fixed. Governor Pritzker has had going on 4 years now, to do something about this. He promised he would do something about it, and he's done nothing. It's time for this to change.